Ghost Recon Wildlands. One hell of a tactical shooter. Now you'd think with this being a follow-up that it would play like Wildlands, look like Wildlands, be a lot like Wildlands but with a lot of improvements. Well, today's going to be interesting. Let's get into it. Alright everyone, so these are my first impressions for the open beta of Ghost Recon BreakPoint on Xbox One X. And I can kind of talk about the closed beta as well. So first up, I just want to say that I'm going to get the bad stuff out of the way first and then talk about the good. Now the bad stuff. It seems like there's many opportunities for forced microtransactions. You can get building materials for blueprints, and the way weapons are set up, I can see them totally setting up you being able to buy better loadouts at some point. But at the same time, I've been fair on Ubisoft in the past when it comes to microtransactions, is that they've never really felt invasive to me from the games I've played. So I'm going to hold off on that for now. Next up. So, in Ghost Recon Wildlands, you could have a team with you, an AI team that would help do sync shots. So if you want to take out enemy guard towers, patrols, whatnot, you could sync shot with the AI squad, and it worked every time. But in this game, they wanted you to feel alone, that you're a lone survivor. The problem is that a lot of people didn't like the idea of that. So before E3, they announced that we will get AI squad mates down the line. Now that's the thing. It's good that they listened to feedback that early. It really is. The problem is that they didn't say they would be there at launch. So you have these sync shot grenades. They're kind of like mini drones. The problem is that the bugs in the beta were so prevalent that 50% of the time, the quick menu for grenades, survival things such as medical supplies, didn't work 50% of the time. It was a really bad issue. Next up, let's talk about bugs. Now, I went through this beta maybe 3 or 4 times because I wanted to get a really good feel for what they've changed. And literally 50% of the time, certain cutscenes didn't play audio. Certain cutscenes didn't change the camera angle. So there's a certain scene in one of the early missions where you're shown something that's very important to the story, and if you don't see it, you won't understand. And twice, the cutscene didn't change the camera angle. That's a problem. Because if you don't see this certain thing, you don't know what you're going to be talking about throughout the game. A negative. People keep saying that this is like, well, The Division because of this social hub. And I'm happy to say that, not really. The thing is that this social hub, it's just a hub. Like, it's just a base where you go buy other clothes, armor, weapons, weapon attachments. And you can see other people going around buying stuff, talking to other people and getting missions. But that's it. You don't see other people out in the wild. So it's not really in your face that much. And other than the fact that I think the game can be a bit washed out at times, like for a game that's set in such green jungles, the game's very grey. While Wildlands was very colourful. It popped really well, and that is something they can change. Again, everything I've said, they could have changed because sometimes open betas and closed betas are all, older builds, so they could be well ahead. Anyway, let's talk about the good stuff, where I want to talk about stuff. RPG-light elements. Now, this is where I think some people are going to be a bit divisive, simply because enemies now have levels above their heads. But if you have a sniper rifle and you get a clean headshot, you can still take them out. Granted, if you're not used to playing games with RPG-style elements, it might be a bit much for you. But again, it's very easy to get into. Next up, survival elements. Now, when you heal, you go into this kind of animation where you bandage yourself up, and it takes a while to heal unless you give yourself a full and like stim pack. This next thing, and I was surprised they put this in the game because a lot of JRPGs have this, where you camp at a campfire and you cook some food and it gives you some buffs. In this game, it has the exact same thing, but it's not all in your face. It's not a huge part of the game. It's just a very small menu. You drink water to get your stamina back up to full. You eat some food while you're camping to get like buffs for your defense and whatnot. I ate a small ration pack and it gave me a 40% damage booster. Like, I'm cool with that. Camo ability. Now, every so often in the game you have these heavy drones go overhead and you need to get down and get into cover. Now, if this was Wildlands, you'd be screwed. But in this game, you cover yourself with mud or snow or wherever you're at and you're perfectly fine. Picking up bodies. Now, this is a big point of contention for me. Because in Wildlands, as much as I love that game, it was a big issue that you couldn't move bodies. And for a stealth game, well, put it like this. Whenever I play Wildlands, I take guards out from the towers and then from the gate. Now, the problem is that if you take people out that are standing at the gate, you always have patrols that walk near the gate. And you always see the bodies. And 99% of the time, alarms went off just because they found the bodies. But in this game, it won't be an issue. You can move the bodies. Now, from a game where you've became from the hunter to the hunted, it's very obvious that where Ubisoft's going with this game. They want you to feel like the odds are stacked against you. You go to a small outpost in Wildlands, you take out three or four guards, and you're done. However, in this game, these 3 or 4 guards may have a heavier armed enemy with them, and they may have a drone patrolling that area. So you have to rethink how you actually approach certain situations, and I kind of like that. Now, let's talk about bugs. Now, I'm well aware that all these bugs I've just talked about may be gone. They could be gone, and everything will be all shiny. Here's my problem. Having an open beta a week before launch doesn't tell me much. Other than the fact that they can't possibly fix everything I've just said before the 4th of October. I'm now filming this on the 1st of October. You know, I have faith in them, but I don't know. Like, if someone had told me this game is out in mid-November and we got the beta when we got it, I'd be like, oh, perfectly fine. Now, the tactical combat is really fun. Your character's more momentum-based now, so you're kind of heavier. Think Red Dead Redemption 2, but not that much, so you don't come to a full stop. You're not fully nimble like you were in Wildlands. In this game, well, you're heavy. And I'm just going to say that this game, I'm looking forward to it, but it may have gone from a day 1 to a week 2. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit like and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. I'm out. Hope everyone has a good day.